We're standing in Fort Mason in the middle of San Francisco, and it's very quiet right now, but in half an hour we'll be joined by 22 other countries for the first ever meeting of cyber and tech ambassadors, where we're going to sit down and discuss some of the big issues, cybersecurity being one of the prominent ones, but we're also going to meet up with the tech industry. And I'm here together with a good colleague and a good friend, Toby, the cyber ambassador of Australia. And Toby, why are we doing this?
Well, not only to be in an iconic location, but also to try and, if you like, mediate the conversation between the tech industry and government. So after 2 years in our respective jobs, I think both of us realise that there's this gaping hole in the conversation where taking us all away into a discrete location and having this conversation about, well, how do we get to better policy outcomes in terms of tech, cybersecurity and broader tech trends. And I think it's a really important partnership that we're building together here between the Australian government and the Danish government as well.
I really think that this kind of gathering and the advance of techplomacy is fundamental to the future. If we're going to better protect technology, if we're going to better protect people who rely on technology, it requires that governments come together in these new ways. It requires that governments interact with the tech sector in new ways. There is so much opportunity for strengthening our work together that meetings like this are not only welcome, I think we're going to need more of them.
Yeah, so this is an important opportunity for us to sit together and speak about the challenges that we have, but also to connect with the tech companies and the private sector, because it's clear that we need them to take responsibility and work with us to make this internet world a safer place.
It's really been a fantastic opportunity to be here in Silicon Valley at this event organized by the Danish government and by the Australian government to get together so many people from foreign ministries, because the policy issues that we work on in this space are instantaneously transmitted around the globe because of the nature of digital technology. So it's important that we get together face to face to have discussions about how we can work together on these challenges, and then not just with governments at the table, but to have the private sector here as well.
And the role of the industry is extremely important because they are the driving force in technological development. They have the resources that many national states are not having actually.
When you think about something like IoT security and the ability for a person to choose an IoT device to bring into their home or business, but then basically knowing very little about it. I think this is a very interesting area where we need to explore the possibility of working with government and looking for either incentives for people to make such a thing more secure or regulations in that space.
It's good to compare notes with colleagues and to see what we could do more or better. We are quite good at defining the norms, but now the second step will be to see how we are able to implement them.
We have quite extensive understanding of what is the EU approach to cyber operations and attacks. And there are the diplomatic tools, starting with the declarations and statements and demarches, but also there are restrictive measures options or sanctions. And I think this is what we haven't used yet, so we could do it.
So this time we're in Cupertino, and we just said goodbye to 22 countries that are leaving for the airport after a 3-day event focusing on cybersecurity and on the role of technology in the digital age. It's also been an opportunity to meet with the senior management in some of the big technology companies, and therefore we've also been involved in shaping, I think, the thinking in the tech companies on the role of governments and why it is that we need to work closer together. And perhaps that's one of the reasons why the group just before departure decided that we were going to do this on an annual basis.
Look, I think we've hit an awesome grouping, which brings something very different to the mix in terms of the international conversation, and I think the Golden Gate Group is formed, and we're really going great guns for the next edition.